That leads us to this next question, the fourth one. How many proposals do we need to submit? If our revenue goal is 5 million, our sales goal is 25 million, and our win rate is 25%, then how many proposals do we need to submit? Obviously, we need to submit 4 times as many opportunities as we need to win. So here, I put down a couple of things I just want you to remember. Today's training is not in-depth on the numbers. Today's training is just to give you 7 questions you and your team should be asking yourselves, right? And if you're a team of 1, sit down, look in the mirror, and ask yourself these questions. How many proposals do we need to submit? So the first thing I put here is you want to get to this point where you're submitting a proposal every 2 weeks. And I love saying statements like that because sometimes people come along and they'll say all these one-offs. Never worry about the depends answer. If somebody asks a question and the answer begins with depends, it's like, come on, just pick what I call the happy path, the normal answer, and then let the exceptions happen as they happen. But every 2 weeks, you should be getting a proposal out. That's only 26 proposals a year. I'm saying you should write 40 proposals, so you actually need to increase it. And you can do this if you're brand new. It might take you a little bit of time, and you will do it all with subcontracts under somebody else, right? But you can do this, and I'll talk about it in the next slide on how, or in 2 slides. But anyways, the idea is if you're getting a proposal out every 2 weeks, that's a really good clip. And if I was worried about, the workload or whether I can write it, then 1 proposal is as a prime contractor where you're trying to win it, and 1 proposal is as a subcontractor where somebody else has the lead. This is totally doable, right? And I have whole trainings on how do you do that? How do you begin to line it up? The most important thing you got to keep in your mind, though, is you want to be writing proposals that you can win, which means you're writing to your sweet spot, your core competency, which I hope you put into the chat and let us all know what it is. So how many proposals you need to submit is based on that 25% win rate. And that's what I put here. Actually, then I changed it all up. Here, I'm using the example of 10% win rate. Sorry. I think it's because the math is easier for me than 25%. But if my sales goal is 25 million, right? Remember, I want to make a revenue goal of 5 million in 2025. So a sales goal in this year of 25 million. That means, and I have a win rate of 10%. That means I basically need 10 times that. So $250 million in what's called total contract value, or TCV. And that total contract value is the 5-year period of performance. If I submit $250 million in total contract value to the government at a 10% win rate, then my expectation is I'm going to win 1 out of 10 of those. I need to submit a minimum of 10 proposals. Again, I'm not deep diving into the numbers. I've done that in other trainings, and I've laid out spreadsheets, et cetera, that you can look at. Today, most importantly, I just want you to ask yourself, how many proposals do I need to submit in order to achieve the sales goal that will lead to my 2025 revenue goal? You need to ask this question, right? And when you have that question answered, that will drive your activity as well. You will know in your team, if you're a bigger team, right? Your team will know how many proposals do we need to get out the door? How many do we need to get out every month, every couple of weeks?